I've made and sold hundreds of sets of press-on nails. But this all started because I wanted to wear BTS themed nails to a concert and I couldn't find any, so I made them. I learned everything I could get my hands on about nails. I taught myself how to paint. I was constantly looking for ways to improve my techniques, find better tools, and chase better quality with every set. Over time, that obsession turned into a process. Inspiration, planning, testing, making, and sharing. And that process eventually turned into a business. And while I was deep in that world of making BTS-themed nails and building a business, a message landed in my inbox from a girl running a nail brush company on the other side of the world. She'd seen the nails, and she was also a BTS fan. That message was the beginning of our working relationship, and 2 years later, that relationship has led to this box on my desk.
If you could see my face right now, I am absolutely cheesing.
This video is the story of how you take an idea and bring it to life. Both how I create a set of press-on nails and how we made the MPF x Mini Me Fine Art Kit. Built by two people who have a passion for quality, were connected by
BTS, and we're both ARMY and BTS fans, yeah.
and live on opposite sides of the world. How the same 5-step process I use at my desk to make nails turned out to be exactly what it took to build a physical nail brush kit. Projects like these can feel overwhelming and sometimes out of reach. But when you break it down, it's just showing up consistently, learning from your mistakes. Oh, that is not centered. And taking it one small step at a time.
It is a process. You learn. You never stop learning.
Same process, 2 different products. Let's make them. The first question I ask myself when I'm making anything is not how, it's what. What is this trying to be? What feeling is it supposed to create? Sometimes inspiration comes first. You see something, feel something, wow, what a shit day. Or if you're like me, become a little obsessed with an idea. Other times, it works the other way around. You know you want to create something, or you have to create something, so you go searching for inspiration. When I'm designing a nail set, I usually start with references. Colors, textures, symbols, little details, images of art, nature, or furniture. Sometimes I'll even look through my collection of materials because I can often find inspiration there as well. At this stage, I'm not really thinking about the final execution. I'm just trying to understand the feeling first. To feel modern, nostalgic, pretty, contemporary, or romantic. In this instance, I'm making a BTS theme set based on their new album, so we're going to start there. The inspiration phase can feel messy. A lot of saving things and then rejecting them. Cutting ideas that are good, but not quite right. What comes out of this phase is not a full plan. It's a direction. The invisible thread that ties everything together. A reason for the thing to exist. And when it came to the brush collaboration, the early phase looked almost exactly the same. Except this time, the stakes felt higher. What's the goal? What does this help the user achieve? By the time we had started talking about an official kit, I had already been working with MPF for over a year, using their brushes daily in both my personal life, work, and my content. MPF brushes. But what first interested me in MPF is that the tools felt genuinely considered. They had designed an aluminum handle with a built-in spatula, and the genius that is the interchangeable magnetic brush tip system. And frankly, I just thought that was innovative and cool as hell. And so I asked Fula how they landed on that idea.
We could provide to the nail technicians really high quality of nail brushes in a reasonable price. Because if I was selling really high quality whole brushes, the prices were going to be off the roof.
So when the idea of building a kit together became real, the question wasn't, should I do this? It was, what does the mini-me version of this look like? What is my specific contribution here? At first, I thought about a basics kit, something concise, useful, and beginner-friendly, because I get asked all the time if I'm just starting out, what should I get? But the more I sat with it, the more it felt like the wrong answer for me. Not only did MPF already have something similar, but my best work has always lived in the details. The fine lines, the 3D elements, nail art where the tiny differences in shape and pressure and brush response matter. For products, you have to be thinking about the end user.
So everything is thought carefully and in consideration of who are we selling to. We think about the product a lot and we are trying to help the end user.
But as a nail artist myself, I am the end user. So instead of trying to make generalizations about what I think other people might want, there's real value in identifying and studying the problems and challenges that I face, and then having a look at the tools and systems that could help me solve them, knowing that you are never alone in your problem. And I think this is where creating both products and art gets really interesting, because if you only focus on what the audience or consumer wants, you can start to lose your own perspective, your own experience, your own taste. And usually that's the very thing that makes the work feel distinct in the first place. And that's how we landed on it. Not a starter kit, a fine nail art kit. So we had it. That was enough to move forward. Not the final answer, but just a direction with a point of view. It was at this point, though, that MPF made a suggestion that changed the whole shape of the project. What if we didn't just curate existing MPF nail tips into a kit? What if we also designed a brand new one? With the intention set and the inspiration pulled, I moved on to the planning and drafting phase. When I'm making a nail set, this is the step that happens in my nail planner. Having a plan lets me see the full vision at once and gives me something to refer back to once I start painting. I write down the intention, I narrow down the color palette, I pull from the mood board, and I start extracting all the little details and trying to figure out where things belong. This is where the abstract starts getting assigned a place, a function, and a level of importance. What looks good next to each other, and where do I need contrast? Where do I need something to breathe? The final product starts to take shape, not as a finished thing, but as a structure. The planning phase of the brush kit moved through almost exactly the same process, just stretched over months instead of one afternoon at my desk.
For me, it's like this type of work when you take a raw product and then you want to make it in an end result. For me, it's my happy place. I do it with all my heart because I can help someone else work and elevate their work.
Once we had the intention locked, a fine art kit, valuable for skilled nail artists and techs, but also approachable for beginners, it was time to make some harder decisions. What brush tips were definitely in? What were maybes, and what would still need to be tested? A few brush tips felt like clear, non-negotiables from the start. The first was the 12mm thin liner, my most used brush, full stop. A fine tip liner I reach for constantly for intricate nail art, controlled details, small shapes, curves, character illustrations. It offers precision while also having a little bit of flexibility because it's slightly longer. The second non-negotiable was the 20mm liner, but here's where I had to make a really hard decision. MPF makes two 20mm liners, the thick liner and the thin liner. I use the 20mm thick liner for things that need a little bit more structure and coverage, steady stripes, French tips, longer controlled strokes, check patterns, you name it. While the 20mm thin liner gives you incredibly thin lines and an immense amount of control considering how long and how thin this brush is. I couldn't decide between the two, so both were in. There was still a gap missing in the collection, and it felt like the 10mm thick liner could really close it. The shortest brush in the collection, the thick short liner brush, is designed for detail work that benefits from a little bit extra control and slightly more body. The short length is ideal for creating curves, floral art, drawing shapes, and coloring in spaces. I was also obsessed with the concept that we would then have two thick liners and two thin liners. With the 4 liner brushes locked in, it was time to shift our focus to what the new brush tip would be. In doing so, we had to look at what already existed in the MPF line and began thinking about where there might be a gap and where we could bring something new to the table. We threw tons of ideas around. Some ideas were compelling but too close to something MPF already had in their catalog. Some were interesting but too niche. Amongst all of this research and back and forth and proposals, I included a link in one of my emails to a long square brush. That link became the direction, and I thought the slim square might be the perfect brush tip to round out the fine art kit. A good plan gives you structure, but it's the act of making that reveals what the plan couldn't yet know. With nails, I set aside specific time to test. I have way too many thoughts for this set. There's a couple techniques that I literally just need to try first to see if they're even going to be nice. Anyway, I'm going to sit down and do that now. I have a feeling that this is going to be a particularly telling testing session, because the way I imagine things in my head does not always translate to the nail. Sometimes the color is off, sometimes the detail feels too heavy, sometimes the very thing that I thought was going to make the set special is the exact thing that throws it off. Or the technique that I was going to implement, I'm actually really bad at it, so I need to practice it like 26 more times. I did some testing last night, and thank God I did. I would have never really put this color palette together, but if I can get the balance right, then I think it's going to come off pretty cool. So many things did not work. Yuck. But there were a lot of takeaways as well. Just see the iterations of how you can improve the more you test and the more you try different techniques and different materials. That's one of the most useful things about testing. A plan B is not failure. It's usually just information. Information that helps me make a better choice and refine my idea. The brush collaboration hit the same stage the moment we chose the slim square to send for a sample.
You need to test, review everything, and let your manufacturer know your notes. They do also testing, and then we make new samples if we are not happy with the first sample.
Then they sent it to me. MPF and I have been working on maybe an upcoming collaboration of brushes, which is just so insane to me. Kind of going back and forth with different types of tips that I would want in my kit. Anyway, I think these are some samples. And I went straight to work on testing it. Check patterns, plaid, clean stripes, French tip touch-ups, controlled color fills, cuticle cleanups, marble details. These were all possibilities with this brush. What I particularly like about the slim square brush is that it has a sharp, clean right angle edge, and that is unique to the entire kit. And that was the moment it clicked. Not just as a good idea, but as a brush that held up. And that's the real value of testing. It doesn't just show you what works, it shows you what's worth continuing. It was time for me to send over my logo and brand colors and let MPF do what they do best, make the brushes. To be honest, I didn't fully understand what that process looked like, so I asked them.
What does the conversation between you and the manufacturer look like when you're looking to build a new brush? Like, how does that go in terms of what's actually possible to make?
It's the hair, the ferrule, the adapter, and the handle. Everything needs to balance together. The manufacturer needs to stabilize the ferrule first. I have to check it with the handle and everything, with the adapter, take samples, we test them, and you also have tested samples before for us. So we test the samples first to see if the flexibility of the hair it's at the point that we need it, because you need different type of hair for every type of gel. The most important part is that everything together fits and feels natural in your hand. When you make something that it costs so much for the end user to buy it, it needs to be perfect.
While MPF is building the handles and brushes, it's time for me to sit down and make these nails, which means pulling out the plan, applying what we learned in the testing phase, and executing them with as much precision as possible. When I sit down to paint, it always comes back to the same three things: products, techniques, and tools. I made a whole video about this called How I Learned to Paint, but here are the basics. Understanding my products, their properties, opacity, viscosity, what they do well, and where they're unforgiving helps me to know when to reach for a painting gel versus a color gel, a syrup gel versus an opaque gel. Ultimately, that understanding gets me better nail art. Technique, on the other hand, is how I put those products to work, how I apply them, how I load up the paint on the bristles, the pressure I use, the angle I hold the brush at, the way I use layers to build depth. Most of that gets worked out in the testing phase, but every single time I make a set, I learn something new or I'm retaught an old lesson. And finally, you need tools that help you execute the thing you're trying to make. I think it's sometimes hard to comprehend how small you can get these lines. Okay, can you see those? Keep them in perspective, okay? Look at that line. This is my fingertip. Switching from cheap brushes to high-quality brushes made one of the biggest and most immediate improvements to my nail art. Nails are such a tiny canvas, and there's so little room for error that a good brush doesn't just make the work easier, it genuinely changes what's possible. I just got an email from Fula saying that the brushes are done, and my jaw is immediately on the floor. Are you seeing this? Oh, whoa, what a dream. I can't believe that they wanted to work on this with me, but it's been so fun. Oh man, that's so good. I'm freaking.
What's one part of the brush's construction that the end user might not see that you think is incredibly important to how it actually performs?
Yeah, this part, the grooves, they've been cut that way so you decrease the weight of the handle. You can make it lighter. The whole brush is ergonomically made. When you place it on your hand and you hold it, it feels natural and balanced.
You're saying that this part's hollow.
Yeah, the first
and then
part
this
is
part
hollow.
Is designed so that you take some of the weight off of the end of the brush while still having the hand feel.
Yeah.
Fascinating. I did not know that. Wow. Cool.
After I've made a set of nails, sharing them usually looks like photographing them, updating my website, and posting them on social media. This part can sound trivial in the grand scheme of things, but if I do a shit job right at the final step, then so much of the work that came before it gets lost. I keep thinking about the distance between Fula's first email and this moment. Oh my gosh. Are you seeing this? I don't even know what to say. She reached out because she'd seen the BTS nails I was making and thought we'd make a good team. And she was right, but not just because of the nails. What made this work is that over time, a real professional relationship was developed. A shared desire to understand materials and tools and make the best possible product.
How I need to find the right word in English. I am psychotic sometimes with precision. I'm a Virgo, so I need to have everything and I need to know everything behind. I went to school for nails. I'm not a nail technician. I went just for, the knowledge. I work with many nail tech, but I have to also know why something is not working. It took me 5 hours to do 5 nails.
Girl, same.
Throughout this process, MPF gave me genuine creative freedom, trusted my instincts, and never pushed me towards something that didn't feel aligned with the Mini and Me brand. And I think our product is better because of it. All that to say, if you want to elevate your nail art, have the sexiest, prettiest brushes in the game, the MPF times Mini and Me Fine Art Kit is available now. We only made 100 kits and 50 bundles. And sitting beside it on my desk, the finished BTS set, the thing that started all of this. The nails I went looking for at a concert years ago and couldn't find. Both of them real, both of them done, and both of them here because of a current I decided to follow. I think people often underestimate how uninevitable finished things actually are. By the time you see something, a nail set, a product, a business, a collaboration, it looks like it was always going to be that, but it never was.